Thanks for joining us here on 13 News at noon. We do want to begin this afternoon with that breaking news. We know 2 people have now died after they were found shot at the scene of a house fire earlier this morning. This happened on the east side of Indianapolis, not far from 38th Street in Audubon. Our Ashton Hackman is at that scene now. He's listening in to an update from Metro Police. Let's listen in.
They need to make sure of what their relationship, was it a domestic partnership relationship? We're working through that to find out. Again, there's some other key pieces we're trying really hard right now to figure out what's going on, if they're connected to this. Again, hopefully something tonight, but at the heart of this, it really just comes down to there's 2 lives lost, and that's horrible for this family. I can't imagine going through that tragedy. Again, anytime you lose a loved one, it's hard, but when you have them on those dates that should be so full of joy, it's hard. It's going to come back and battle them for the rest of their lives, for this holiday.
Right 2 children. Do you know, are there like any suspects at large? Was there someone else involved, or are these the only 2 left?
At this time, that's what detectives are working to figure out. Is there another suspect? I don't know. We believe this to be an isolated incident. That's a good question, right? This is, we believe, isolated. But then, is there another person? Is there a 4th person? We don't know. So that's what's got to be figured out. We have 2 little kids. Where do they fall in play to the victims? I can't imagine being these 2 little kids going through this. This is going to be horrible for them for the rest of their life. And thankfully, it appears that there's some great family here that maybe they can support them and be with them. I hope they're going to need a lot of love for a long time. Any other questions?
Do you know the age of the kids by chance?
Just very young children right now. We have not confirmed the exact ages at this time.
What about the ages of the victims?
That hasn't been released. That'll be the Marion County Coroner's Office that'll release that.
But just to be clear, so the male victim was pronounced deceased
on scene,
and then the female at the hospital?
Yes.
Is he's still
Still here, yes. Any other questions?
That's what I got.
Thank you.
Hey, Tommy.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
parked on the other side.
Yeah,
you can. The front line of those houses right there.
Yeah, just like you guys do.
We just got an update from IMPD. Now we have confirmed that this is a double fatal shooting here on Indy's east side. Obviously, as Officer Thompson mentioned, just a horrific and tragic situation on a time where families are supposed to come together and enjoy today. And obviously we have a family here that is processing what has happened here. As Officer Thompson mentioned, this is still a very active scene. We were here shortly after that fire was put out. And as he mentioned, this is a complex investigation. They're not only dealing with a fire investigation, potentially looking into arson, but also the 2 fatal shooting deaths inside that home. Again, a man found dead inside. A woman was taken to the hospital in critical condition. She unfortunately later died, but thankfully 2 children that were inside at the time who might have witnessed all of this, we are told were unharmed in this situation. That's the latest that we have here. And as IMPD mentioned, they will be on scene for several hours here processing this information along with the Indianapolis Fire Department. So, of course, Sam, when we get more information to you, we will give it.
Yeah, that information just coming into the newsroom. So we will check back again coming up this afternoon at 12:30. Ashton, thank you.
All right, we're going to switch it up here and get you ready for what's happening this afternoon, and then most importantly, what's ahead for the weekend. This canopy of clouds, as expected, over us. It's been squeezing out some flurries, occasional light snow, with that northwest wind providing some bite in the air over central Indiana. Now, I will tell you, as we look to the west, we're noticing the backside of this blanket of clouds. It's going to take a while. It may not get there in eastern Indiana before sunset. It should in the metro area. So we will at least see a brightening of the sky, but it's not going to warm us much at all. Wind chills remain in the teens here over central Indiana, and you can see a little bit of that lake effect flying there from Marion, Muncie down toward Richmond. So here's the remainder of the day. Coldest Thanksgiving we've had since 2014. We've got sunshine on deck for tomorrow. We've got cold conditions if you're coming downtown for Circle of Lights here in Indianapolis. Our coverage will begin at 6 p.m. and then all eyes on Saturday snow. I'll have the latest snow zone forecast and impacts coming up here in just a few minutes.
All right, Sean, we'll see you then. Thank you. Just into the newsroom this afternoon, we are now learning Indiana House Republicans are meeting virtually with House Speaker Mike Johnson this weekend. Sources confirming to 13 News that call is expected to happen Saturday afternoon. Sources say the invitation did not mention redistricting specifically as a topic of that meeting, but it does come just days before lawmakers are expected back at the State House for the start of the legislative session on Monday. That's when redistricting is expected to be considered by first the House and then the Senate as part of the regular 2026 session. Thanks for sticking with us here on this Thanksgiving Day. We have a lot of festivities happening right now around central Indiana, and we know 15,000 runners and walkers. They are wrapping up the 23rd annual Drumstick Dash. It kicked off at 9 o'clock this morning up in Broad Ripple, and it's all for a good cause. All the money raised from the Drumstick Dash helps feed, shelter, and care for Hoosiers experiencing homelessness. And those runners and walkers, they started their Thanksgiving morning by moving their feet so others can eat. This is always such a big fan favorite event.
Oh yeah, and one of the largest in the country, by the way.
Yeah.
Our own Matthew Foltz out there today, making me feel guilty
know.
about all the food I'm going to be putting in my body later. But yeah, it was chilly, but man, what a great cause.
Yeah, and once people get moving, then it's okay. It's not that bad.
Yeah, with wind chills in the teens, who cares? Yeah, always a big event here in our city. Yeah.
Okay, and we'll have more on the Thanksgiving Black Friday forecast coming up.
Yeah, we got you covered.
All right, thanks, Sean. Another Thanksgiving Day tradition, decades in the making. Volunteers with the Moselle Sanders Foundation, they're packing holiday meals for people in need. Our Marina Silva shows us how they pull it off.
One scoop at a time, volunteers are packing 10,000 meals that will go to families in Indianapolis for Thanksgiving. With more than 3,000 pounds of chicken and turkey, 20,000 dinner rolls, and hundreds of pounds of gravy, it's all to feed hungry Hoosiers. Michelle Sbizma is one of the volunteers.
Because I like to help people, it makes me happy, and it makes them happy, and that's what makes me happy. And I love to be in the kitchen, so this is extra fun.
This is her first time in the kitchen volunteering.
And I volunteered in the food pantry years ago, and I'm a kitchen person.
This is the annual Moselle Sanders Thanksgiving distribution, honoring the late Reverend Dr. Moselle Sanders.
This was his vision to make sure that no one went hungry. He talked about it, and then it happened. Other church leaders and community leaders, they supported it, and then they kept going.
This year, more than ever, families are putting in the request for just a little help. The Moselle Sanders Foundation wants to make sure that every family who needs a meal has one.
Second, we opened up the phone lines, it was flooded. And then they hit us up on the email, and then they hit us up from social media. So every single medium, they reached out to us. So it was definitely one of those years where we knew that there was a certain unique burden.
It is made possible by thousands of volunteers, including Chef Michael Futch.
We need to come together as Hoosiers. Hoosiers do it best.
For volunteers like Michelle, this is where they want to be on Thanksgiving.
And I like being around kind people. This is nice.
In the kitchen, helping others. In Indianapolis, Marina Silva, 13 News.
Millions of people are hitting the road this Thanksgiving, and by now, many of them are already where they're supposed to be today. But state agencies say they are not taking the day off from keeping an eye on the roads. State police say they want safety to be every driver's priority today. More cars on the road means more travel time and the need to plan ahead. State police also stress the need for drivers to be patient this Thanksgiving weekend. And DOT officials say they're also working to make it a little bit easier for all of us during the holiday.
Any project that we have where we can safely lift some lane closures or open things back up, we're going to do that to allow for that increased traffic. Now, there are some major projects that we have that we're not able to lift those restrictions, but we're not going to do any new closures this week.
That's some good news. We'll take it. INDOT is also keeping an eye on the forecast in case we do get any of that snow this weekend. Metro Police, they are also giving a strict warning against drunk driving this holiday weekend. The department announced it plans to conduct proactive patrols across the city looking for signs of impaired driving. They're also reminding all of us of those rideshare deals and discounts being offered this weekend.